Namaste my friends, and welcome back to the Yogi Moksha channel for another 90-minute Yin Yoga sequence. So today I thought we'd do something a little bit different. We're just going to focus on twists. So different postures, different twists. They're all going to predominantly target our thoracic spine, so the middle of our spine, as their twists, but they'll also be different secondary benefits and stresses. So we're going to work through a number of postures, have some good rebounds in between, and just enjoy and learn about the different approaches that the different postures bring to the body. Hope you enjoy the practice. So as normal, settling in, coming to a comfortable seated position on the block or on the mat as you prefer, cross-legged, or even sitting back on the ankles. Maybe starting to just allow the eyelids to come down, closing the eyes. Don't have to, but very often it just helps us bring our focus inside. As we're closing our eyes, we're bringing our attention to the breath, natural breath. So by natural breath, we're literally just observing the natural rhythm of our breathing. We're breathing in and out through the nostrils. We generally always breathe in and out through the nostrils in our practice. The nose is a great filter for the air that we breathe into our bodies. Also moderates the humidity and the temperature. Just observing natural breath in and out. Maybe sensing the belly expanding and contracting. Drawing our awareness inwards. Maybe even bringing the attention to the tip of the nose where the breath is coming in and out. Just recalibrating our senses. Tuning out of sounds around us, just being aware of them, but our attention is focused firmly inwards. Just a couple more breaths here. Maybe allowing the head to drop forward just a little bit. Eyes blinking open as we're looking down at the mat. Taking our time. There's no rush for at least the next 90 minutes. Maybe now removing the block, getting ready to move into our first posture. It would be handy actually if you had a block and a bolster to hand. Not essential, but probably handy for some of the postures. So for our first posture, our target area is going to be the scapula and the obliques, so the side and the shoulders. And we're going to do that by coming onto all fours. We're going to take the right hand, the right arm, and thread it through underneath the left arm. And then we're going to bring the torso down. So we're going to support ourselves with the left hand initially. We're just going to bring ourselves down towards the mat. Typically we're going to be looking towards the right hand. Maybe our ears resting on the mat. And as we do, just finding that edge, that first point of resistance, moderating the amount of weight we put onto the scapula with the left hand, relaxing the muscle in the right shoulder, scapular area. To relax the muscle, perhaps that posture's opening up a little bit for us. If we want to, we could take the hand behind the back. Or we can even extend the left hand straight out. Whatever works. We're finding stillness. Stillness in the posture. That stillness, soft, relaxed stillness, allowing us to explore the connective tissue stress in the right scapular area. Maybe also coming up the back a little bit there. A healthy stress on the bones. So the main feature of all of these postures is the twist in the spine, and here we've got a very nice twist in the thoracic spine in the middle of the back. Also a bit of a twist there in the cervical spine up here in the neck. And some healthy stress in the right scapula and clavicle. Maybe even the humerus, shoulder joint. Just coming to a point now where we've got about half a minute left, so just ensuring that the muscles are relaxed and we're as deep as we want to be. Nothing wrong at any point in any of the postures in moving back a little and just easing off. Just a couple more breaths now. Swap to the other side. I'm just going to turn around, but you don't need to. We're just swapping to the other side. So we're putting the right hand down and threading the left arm through underneath the right arm. And as we did on the other side, just gently coming forward, finding that first edge. Yeah, maybe it's a little bit different to the other side. So wherever that first edge is, that first point of resistance, just working with that there, pausing, relaxing the muscles. As we relax the muscles, we may find that the posture opens up a little bit, allowing us to go a little bit deeper. Probably initially just keeping this right hand here to take some of the weight out of the left shoulder. And then as we settle into our posture, just finding our stillness, not a stiff or rigid stillness. We need our stillness to allow us to move with the edge. If the edge moves away from us and gives us the opportunity to go a bit deeper, then we need to be able to do that. We can have our hand here, or we might be put it behind the back, or we extend it over the head. So in our stillness, we've got the opportunity to explore the connective tissue stress. Connective tissue stress here is certainly in our upper body, in our shoulders, then the outside of the arm, the left arm here, maybe even coming up the thoracolumbar, the back. But again, the main feature is the twist, the thoracic mid-spine twist. The twist coming up from the thoracic up to the cervical spine, the neck. Also some healthy stress in the bones at the shoulder, the scapula, the clavicle, and maybe even in the humerus there, shoulder joint. Ensuring the muscles relaxed. Any stress has passed to the connective tissue. The posture is as open as we want it to be. And just enjoying the depth of the posture as we feel that connective tissue stretch. Just gently using the right arm to help us ease out of that posture. We're going to come to our first rebound. I'm going to suggest here that although sometimes we support ourselves, because we've been working with the shoulders, that you really want to be lying on your back for this rebound so that you can feel there's no tension in the upper body, in the shoulders at all. So coming to lying on your back, hands and arms out to the side, relaxed. Maybe even closing the eyes. I suggest it's helpful in terms of bringing the focus then to the target area. So the scapula, clavicle, shoulders. And just seeing what sensations arise from that target area. Perhaps there are sensations that are moving down the arms, down to the fingertips, back up the arms. Maybe depending on the depth of the twist in the spine, maybe there are sensations moving around the spine. We're all very unique, so all of our experiences are going to be quite different. But if we turn our senses inward and focus, we're going to be able to discern what those effects are for us today. Maybe a light vibration, maybe a fluid movement, not leading our attention, just observing. Relaxed, natural breathing. Next inhale, in your own time, just getting ready for our next posture. We're going to be coming up onto all fours. Our target area, as well as the twist element, is going to be the hip flexors. So we'll start with the left hip flexor. So from all fours, we're going to want to bring the right foot forward. Hands on the outside of the hands. Just going to be finding our edge as usual. Relaxing the muscles around the hip flexor, around the hips on both sides. We're going to feel that groin move a little bit towards the mat as things open up a little bit. Whether that's a little or a lot, entirely personal. Finding that edge, relaxing. As you relax, maybe the posture opens up a little bit more. And from here, we're going to take ourselves up onto our right knee. And there's a few options here. We can take our left elbow over to the right knee and just introduce that nice twist that we need into the back there. If you want to, you can bring the shoulders down. Maybe start just supporting ourselves with the elbow. Right hand, if we want to, we can take behind the back. We may find that gives us a little bit of extra twist. But wherever we are now, let's just find some stillness. Exploring the healthy stress in the connective tissue. So we're still getting a nice stress here in the left hip flexor. Maybe that's extending from the hip flexor up through the stomach, the rectus abdominis, and a bit in the obliques. And also getting that healthy stress at the core of this whole sequence. Getting a lovely twist in the middle of the spine, the thoracic spine. And we can introduce or reduce some twist into the cervical spine up in the neck. By twisting, turning our head to a point that is comfortable for us. Just ensuring the muscles are relaxed. And gently coming out there, using the hands to support ourselves, taking the right foot back, coming back onto all fours, maybe just swaying the hips a little bit just to loosen up before we move to the other side. So for the other side, we're going to bring the left foot forward, Left foot to the outside of the hands on the mat. Again, the target area. So target area is the right hip flexor. So we're going to find our edge, relaxing the muscles around the right hip flexor, around both hips, upper legs, allowing the groin to sink a little bit towards the mat. Maybe the posture's opening up a little bit, maybe that edge is moving out. If it is, we can move with it if we choose. And now introducing our twist, we're going to again come up onto, this time onto our left knee. We're going to bring our right elbow over. So again here we can support ourselves with our right elbow on the left knee. If we wanted something a little bit deeper in terms of a twist, we could come through, more bringing the shoulder towards the knee. What we don't want to do is we don't want to do a more typical Hatha Yoga posture like this, because it's really quite dynamic. We're here in Yin, so we want something that we can hold for a few minutes and where we're not engaging too many muscles. So just finding some stillness here. Exploring the connective tissue stress in the right hip flexor. Maybe extending up from the hip flexor, up through the stomach, the rectus abdominis, and the side, the obliques. Maybe taking our arm behind if we want a little bit more twist. But again, being mindful that we're twisting into the posture as opposed to dynamically forcing ourselves into a twist. Making sure that the muscles are relaxed, healthy stress in the bones. Certainly got a terrific twist in the thoracic spine there. Deciding how much twist we want in the neck or the cervical spine by the position of our head. Relaxing, maybe sinking a bit deeper, and just enjoying the deep twist all the way through the spine, just wringing out the spine. Great for renewing all that spinal fluid. And there, just gently hands to the mat. Walking that left foot back. Coming straight back onto our back for our rebound. So again, maybe let's just decide that for this sequence we're going to have our rebounds all lying on our back, so that we can really enjoy any sensations that are going to move through the spine or the upper part of the back. Lying on our back, bringing our eyes to a close, taking the attention straight away to the target area that we've been working. So the hip flexors and the obliques. Just tuning in, trying to understand what, if any, sensations we have. Starting or even just passing through the area. What those sensations are, where they're moving from and to. And if those sensations are moving towards or around the spine, the focus of our sequence today. We've got some slightly longer rebounds in the sequence today, so we've got the time to really investigate. Take your attention to the target areas of the spine, and just spend some time listening. Watching the breath. If the breath starts to be a little choppy, then maybe that's a sign that we just need to ease off a little. Getting back up to a seated position. So for our next posture, our target area is going to be the glutes and the obliques. We're going to do that with a seated twist. There's a couple of options here, so I'll just face the camera while I do this. Option one is crossing the legs and then just taking the right hand to the left knee and twisting like this. Option two would be to cross one leg over the other, coming into what's sometimes called shoelace, and then from here again, so opposite hand, opposite leg, twisting that way. So the choice is yours. I'll just stay in this posture since I'm here, and we're just going to turn. Got my left hand on my right knee. My hand is almost behind the middle of the back, keeping the spine nice and straight. And just twisting. So again, compared to other forms of yoga, perhaps a hatha yoga sequence, we don't want to be pushing ourselves around using leverage of the arms. We're in a yin sequence, so we want to twist, but we don't want to be too dynamic about it. So we're just twisting the body, getting it to first point of resistance. We're relaxing the muscles around the side of the body, the obliques. We're noting if the posture is opening up or the edge is moving out. Maybe we're deciding to take up that extra twist that's available. And then we're just finding stillness. We could certainly go deeper if we wanted to, but we'd need to engage muscular effort, and that's not what we want to do. So just staying here. Exploring the connective tissue stress we've got here in the glutes, the obliques. You might also have some connective tissue stress up here in the upper body. Certainly don't want muscular stress, but we might have some connective tissue stress. And the healthy stress that we've introduced into the bones and the joints. Again, we've got the spine straight up. We've got a deep twist there in the middle of the spine in the thoracic. Probably the twist extending all the way down to the lumbar. Again, back up to the cervical spine at the neck. And again, we've got the option here to moderate how much twist we have in the neck. We can be looking straight forward, or we can be following the right shoulder back, just to the degree that's comfortable to us today. Again, nothing wrong with just adjusting, following an edge or moving out a little bit if we need to from time to time. Gently releasing, depending which posture you're in. Swapping to the other side, so if you're in cross legs, that's fine. You can just stay in the same position, or if you want to, you can change your legs. If you have the legs over in shoelace, then you're going to want to change the legs over, so this time the left leg is on top, knees directly on top. Just settling in. And maybe even more accessible sitting on a block, so you might want to consider that. If this is causing issues getting into it with the knees, then simply just put the block under the buttocks, and that will take a lot of stress off the knees. So again, whether we're cross-legged or shoelaced, bringing the opposite hand to the opposite knee. So here, the right hand to the left knee. The other hand to the left hand here, going behind the middle of the back. Straightening the back. And just starting to introduce that twist. Again, finding that first edge. Remembering it's yin, not a more dynamic form of yoga, so we're not dragging ourselves around. We're just nudging up to that first edge, relaxing the muscles. So relaxing the muscles through the back and through the hips and the legs. And maybe in doing so, finding that there's a little bit more room. Maybe the posture's opened up. Maybe the edge is moved out a little bit. And if there is, we then decide if we want to take that up. We don't have to. But whatever we choose to do, we just now find some stillness. Still, calm, physically, mentally. A relaxed stillness that allows us to move in and out with our edge. Not a rigid, stiff stillness. Using that stillness to explore the connective tissue stress. What you got here in the glutes, the obliques, so the buttocks and the sides, and maybe even up in the upper body as we twist. We can get a really good sense of how much we've twisted here by the relative direction or position of the hips versus the shoulders. And the majority of that twist is taken up in the middle of the spine, in the thoracic spine. The spine down the bottom, the lumbar, doesn't twist too much. Most of the twist comes from the middle of the spine in the thoracic. And again, we can regulate and moderate how much twist we have in the neck by just twisting our head. So if we want a little bit more, just twist the head round towards the left hand. If that's a little bit too much, just bring it back around towards the front. Just regular natural breathing. Enjoying the twist in the spine, the wringing out of the spinal fluid. Twists are great for the spine in terms of healthy stress on the bones, but also in terms of moving and renewing spinal fluid in the discs in between spinous processes. And just gently relaxing, releasing, coming forward, releasing the legs, straightening those out, maybe just giving them a wriggle, and coming back. Again, coming back to our rebound, lying on our back. Arms and legs out to the side like a mini Shavasana. And straight away taking our attention, I would suggest closing the eyes, taking our attention down to the target area. So maybe starting at the glutes obliques area. Just opening the mind to any kind of sensation that seems to be flowing from or through that area. Maybe that sensation, whether it's warm or cold or slight vibration, maybe it's already moved. Maybe it's moved down the legs. Sometimes you might find it in the tips of the toes or even in the instep of the foot, the arch of the foot. Maybe there's some movement there, maybe there's a sensation that's moved from the target area up towards the spine. Just taking the time to bring your senses inwards and follow the response to that posture. Just even try and describe it to yourself. Next time we do this sequence or you do another twist, it'll feel different, and we'll start to understand and learn why it feels different. Just continuing to follow the sensations for the last few breaths here. And in your own time, coming back up to a seated position, ready for our next posture, which again is going to focus on obliques and glutes. But I think we'll find you'll get some different connective tissue responses So for this posture, we're going to take our right leg forward and take our left leg back. So we're going to bend the left leg at the knee, taking the foot behind us. This knee can be wherever's comfortable for you. And we're going to bring the right foot in. So if I turn towards the camera for that, so we're going to end up with the posture like this from the front. And from here, so we've got the right leg in front, so we're going to take the left hand, put it on the right knee, taking the right hand behind, and twist. Again, not too dynamic here, but just twisting the body, beginning to find that edge, that first resistance. You're going to really feel this through the obliques here, so relax the muscles around the obliques. Relax the muscles in the upper legs as well. Pausing, relaxing, maybe finding that posture's opening up a little bit. Finding some stillness. If we're finding that posture is opening up for us, and we want to move a little bit deeper with that, you can always walk both hands towards the back. Maybe take the right elbow down to the mat and start twisting the body a little bit more, almost bringing the chest towards the mat behind you. If you want, you can have a bolster behind you here just to support you. I'll even just bring the head down towards that bolster. Some people may even want to do that without the bolster and just come down to the mat. But again, it's yin, it's not a dynamic, we're not forcing ourselves in. So we want to be sure that we're not forcing anything here, just allowing gravity to allow us to enjoy the posture. Wherever we are, we're going to find our stillness now. That stillness, we're going to explore the connective tissue stress. So we're going to have some of that down the left-hand side, the oblique, maybe even coming down the hip flexor towards the quad. And of course the healthy stress in the bones. The focus on the spine. So depending on whether you're in the seated posture or you're further down, the degree of twist that you're going to find in the thoracic spine is going to differ quite a lot, but we're still going to get a very, very healthy stress twist here in the spine. So just working with what's achievable for you today. Enjoying that twist in the spine. Again, maybe introducing or reducing cervical spine twist by moving the head from side to side, finding the right position. Either walking yourself back up or just twisting around and coming round to the other side. So this time we're going to have our left leg in front. We're going to take our right leg behind us. Maybe we want to have our bolster behind us here. Bringing our right hand to the left knee and starting to introduce that twist. Remembering that this side will probably feel quite different to the other side. Quite normal, particularly with twists, to find that it's much easier to twist to one side than the other. So that's the sort of thing that we want to take note of. We don't have to force the sides to perform the same. We just want to make sure that we recognize the different capabilities of each side. So relaxing, finding the edge, relaxing the muscle, maybe finding the posture opens up a little bit, maybe twisting a little bit more, just finding that edge, maybe using the bolster behind us. Or just staying up in the seated position. What determines the posture, the actual position of the limbs in all of these yin postures, is not what it looks like. As we keep on saying, as functional yin yoga, it's about recognizing what our target areas are. So here it's the obliques and the glutes, maybe even the quad down the front as well. And finding ourselves, working ourselves into a comfortable position, or a position that we can tolerate, that effectively targets those areas. So on this side, we might find that remaining seated like this rather than going down to the mat is as much as we want to do. So in our stillness here, we're exploring the connective tissue stress in the oblique and the glutes, but also particularly the stress in the bones. So in our spine, a deep spinal twist here in the thoracic spine, twist all the way up the spine, but most of it taken in the thoracic. And we're able to control our cervical spine twist by twisting the head. And because we're in a soft stillness, we may find that later in the posture we do want to adjust and go a little bit deeper. And again, if we're doing this, if we do adjust, we really want to make sure that we're focused on the target areas and understanding what's changing. So if I do go a little bit deeper, how does that feel? Is it just more intense, or does it actually move the position of some of the connective tissue stress? And gently just moving the props away. Back up, pulling that right foot forward. And coming back to lying on our back in a rebound. Bringing the eyes to a close. Taking the attention down to the obliques, the glutes, maybe even the front of the legs there. Just observing the sensations that start or pass through. Maybe comparing to the last posture, although we had the same target areas. Are you finding that the sensations in the posture and in this rebound are different to the ones we had in the last posture? Maybe in the rebound in this posture, the sensations are more static. Maybe they're cold rather than warm, or maybe they're exactly the same. Observing as those sensations move through the body, if there is any connection to the spinal area. So for our next posture, we're going to need to stay lying on our back. We're going to bring both feet, bending both knees, and bringing the ankles towards the buttocks. And from here, we're going to take our right leg over the left. And the options here are either just leaving this here, this position, and then allowing that top right knee to fall towards the mat, or we can take the right foot and tuck it behind the left ankle, left calf there. It's almost like a double twist, and then allow that top leg to fall towards, so the right leg to fall towards the left hand towards the mat. For our arms, our options for the arms, we can have the arms down by the side, out to the side. We can have them up, stop sign. Or we can hold opposite elbows or extend above. Just finding which option is best for you today. And by best we mean what's best in terms of the effect on the target area. So we've got our glutes and our obliques. So where are we getting the connective tissue stress we want today with the arms? Just finding some stillness here. Exploring the effect of moving the head. you may find that has an impact on the target area. You can bring the knees up towards the chest, or you can straighten out the legs a little bit. That will certainly have an impact on the connective tissue stress. If we want a little bit more, we can just place the weight of our hand on the knee, bringing it towards the ground, just the weight of the hand, as we explore that connective tissue stress in the glute and the obliques. Healthy stress in the bones, particularly our spinal twist. The degree of twist we get is the difference between the way that our shoulders are pointing and the way that our hips are pointing. So that's going to give us a good feel for the degree of twist that we've got. Enjoying the twist and the stillness. Combination of the spinal twist, cervical spinal twist, the thoracic spinal twist. Great way to de-stress these spinal twists. This literally feels like you're squeezing the stress out of the body and out of life. Bringing your knees back to the center, releasing the foot. Coming to the other side, we're just going to take the left leg up and over the right, allowing the left foot to stay on the outside of the right leg, or doing the double twist. We don't have to do the same as we did on the other side. The positions of the limbs should be driven by the effect on the target area. The target area here is the glutes and the obliques. Making our choice and allowing the knees to fall to the right hand side. Left leg is on top, and just deciding whether the knees are okay where they are, or straightening the legs out a little bit, or bringing the knees back up towards the chest. Bringing the knees up towards the chest is going to bend the spine a little bit, changing the dynamics of the spinal twist. And legs extended is going to give us a much straighter spine. And just allowing the knees to fall over towards the right is going to put us somewhere in the middle. Just deciding what's good for you today, and deciding on a arm position. And once you've got that combination sorted, just finding some stillness. We're not locked into this forever. This is our edge, our first point of resistance. So this is how this posture works for us right at this minute. As we relax the muscles, we might find that those knees move a little bit closer towards the mat. and the arms and upper body relaxes just a little bit. Maybe we've got just a little bit more scope. The position just goes a little bit deeper. Maybe we want to put our hand on our left knee. So the stillness that we find needs to be a fine line between a mental and a physical stillness that allows us to think and experience what's happening to us in the posture. It certainly doesn't want to be a stillness that is forced through muscular effort. That's really not going to allow the stress to pass to the connective tissue. So in our stillness here, we're exploring that connective tissue stress. Glutes, the obliques, and also a nice twist in the spine. Getting a twist all the way up the spine, but concentrated in the middle, in the thoracic. As much twist as we've decided on in the cervical spine by the position of our head. Just enjoying the last few breaths in this posture. And gently on the next inhale, just bringing those knees back to the centre. Unwinding the knees. Staying where we are, lying on our back for our rebound. Arms and legs comfortable distance from the body, relaxed. All the muscles relaxed. Bringing the eyes to a close. Taking our attention down to the target area that we were working with. So the obliques and the glutes again. But again noting that perhaps in the posture and in this rebound, the sensations that we can experience are quite different from the previous postures with similar target areas. You may find that the sensations in this rebound are moving down the front of the leg rather than the side or the inside. Maybe they're moving down the front of the leg to the toes, coming back up the front. And again, maybe there is or there isn't some connection with that sensation in the target area to the spine. Again, each of our bodies is different, which means that even if we were doing exactly the same posture, we're going to have very different responses to it. And obviously in Yin, we're typically doing quite different expressions of the same posture. For the last few breaths, just enjoying the sensations moving around. Maybe settling down a bit. Now for this next posture, we're going to be on our front. So you can just simply roll over. I'll just turn around so that you can see the entry into the posture on the camera. We're going to start on our front, coming up onto our elbows, almost in a little sphinx. And from here we're going to take our left leg. We're going to bring that knee up to the side. So in some yoga this is called a lizard. And from here we're then going to take our right hand. We're going to support the side of our head with the right hand. Our teacher, one of our teachers, Joe Fee, described this as lying on the beach, which is not a bad comparison, but unfortunately we do have to move on from just lying on the beach. So here we're going to take our right leg. You're going to walk that foot out as far as you can before bending the leg at the knee, and then reaching back with the left hand, and either just holding at the ankle or on the foot, calf, wherever's comfortable. And here just finding that edge, so relaxing the muscles. We're going to find that even in this expression of the posture, we've obviously got some muscular effort required to hold the ankle at the back. We've got some good stretch in the right leg. And we may feel that this is as far as we want to go in this posture. So we'll just pause for a moment and relax the muscles. See if the posture opens up. See if that edge opens up for us. And if it doesn't, then we should stay here and enjoy the posture. If we have the opportunity, however, we want to take it, we can simply just allow the left shoulder to fall back towards the mat, keeping hold of the ankle, maybe taking our right hand out to the side, and again making a conscious decision about the position of our head, turning it to the left or the right. Just seeing how that affects not only the amount of twist in the neck, but also in the target area. So finding some stillness wherever you are, whether we're still up in the beach position or whether we've allowed that shoulder to fall back towards the mat. Finding stillness, using that stillness to explore the connective tissue stress that we're feeling in the obliques and the hip flexor of the right side. Maybe also some connective tissue stress in the upper body as we're opening up the chest, particularly if we roll back. Also the healthy stress in the bones. So again, very healthy stress in the spine, the twist, which we can recognise with the differing positions or trajectories of the shoulders and the hips. So just enjoying that thoracic focused twist in the middle of the spine. Maybe adding a little bit of cervical spine twist with our head position. And again, recognising that we don't have to stay rigidly in one expression. If we need to move deeper or just back off a bit, we can certainly do that. And just gently relaxing, letting go of the ankle. Coming back to lying on our front, up in our little Sphinx position. This time we're going to take the right leg, bend that knee, the knee's coming up to the side of the body. From here we're going to take the left hand, supporting the left hand side of the head. We're in our beach position, walking the left leg out as far as we can, bending at the knee, reaching back with the right hand, holding the left ankle or the left foot. Just finding that first edge initially, not rushing into anything. Again, this side may be very different from the other, so just pause momentarily and explore. Is this relaxing the muscles? Is this really where we want to stay? As the muscles relax, is this really as far as we want to go today? There are no prizes for going deeper. So if we're comfortable staying here, then this is the expression that we should choose today. If we found that relaxing the muscles has opened up the posture and that edge has moved out for us, then perhaps we want to allow that shoulder to just roll back towards the mat, so the right shoulder coming back towards the mat, keeping hold of the ankle with the right hand, and maybe taking the left hand just out straight, or it can go above the head. Stillness, whether we're still up in the beachy position or lying with our shoulder towards or on the mat. Deciding which way we're most comfortable with the position of the head. And just enjoying that stillness, using that stillness across the body and the mind to explore the connective tissue stress. In this case, in the left hip flexor and the oblique. Maybe across the upper body as we're holding that ankle. Also exploring the healthy stress in the bones, the deep twist in the spine, thoracic spine, cervical spine, maybe even up here in the scapula. Ensuring the muscles are relaxed. Feeling all the stresses of what came before this practice just squeezed out through the spine, almost wringing it out. And just releasing that ankle. And back round to lying on our back with the rebound. So arms and legs relaxed, away from the body. Maybe bringing the eyelids closed. Taking our attention down towards the physical target areas, the obliques and the glutes, hip flexors. With that focus and an open mind, just observing what, if any, sensations we have arising there or just passing through. If they're passing through, where are they passing through to? And how do they feel? There's also a bit of a work in that last posture of the upper body. So maybe this time we're finding, unlike the previous postures, there's more movement from the glutes and the obliques up to the upper body. And maybe that's through the spine that we were twisting. So maybe here you're finding there's a much more direct connection between the spine twist and the connective tissue stress. Maybe you find that there's a almost fluid movement, a sensation between those target areas in the spine. Maybe not. Maybe it's just different to the previous postures. For our final posture, we're going to need some kind of support behind the back. So I tend to use a bolster, but some people prefer to use a block. We're basically going to be supporting ourselves over whatever we're using, with the support located in the middle of the back. So the thoracic, the middle part of the spine that we've been twisting, we're now going to support ourselves over the block or the bolster placed there. So again, whether you use the block or the bolster is a matter of personal choice. But wherever you are, place the block or bolster there, lie back, maybe just hands by the side for the moment. Some people may prefer to support the head with a block from behind, at least initially. Settling in, finding that first edge, just relaxing the muscles all through the back, even through the front of the body, the rectus abdominis muscles. Again, making that call as we relax the muscles, whether this is the expression of the posture we want to remain in, or another 4 minutes, or whether we feel that the posture has opened up and that edge that we must always stay behind has moved out a little bit for us. If that's the case, we might want to take the arms behind the head. You can even hold the opposite elbows, or just have the arms straight out. We don't want any discomfort up here in the shoulders, any pain though, any pinching. So just be mindful of that. We might want to bring the feet a little bit closer together, or have them a little further apart. That'll just change how the expression of the posture in the back and the front of the body. We may even want to remove the support of the head. Entirely up to you. But certainly we don't want any pinching or discomfort around the neck, the cervical spine. So wherever we choose to be, finding our stillness. Exploring the connective tissue. Stress in the front of the body, the rectus abdominis coming up the front of the body. May even coming up through the upper body if we've got our arms extended above. But particularly here, the focus on the stress on the bones. We've been working all of our postures, we've been twisting the spine, and the majority of that twist has been through the thoracic or the middle part of the spine. So here we're just extending the spine without twisting. It's almost a release for the thoracic spine or for the whole spine from what we've been doing for the last 85 minutes. Extension of the spine means we're going to be nice arch in the back, compressing those spinous processes closer together, opening the spine up on the front. So again, good for the intervertebral discs in the spine, the spinal fluid. Putting some healthy stress on the discs, encouraging the spinal fluid to be renewed. Enjoying the last breath or two. Yeah, gently in your own time, removing the props and just finding yourself back on your back in our final rebound or the Shavasana. Here, arms and legs comfortable distance apart, just relaxed, all the muscles of the body relaxed. If we're comfortable, closing the eyes, or if you prefer, just a blanket or a cloth over the head if you don't want to close the eyes. Making sure that we're going to be warm and comfortable and not disturbed for the next 5 minutes. And just briefly, as we have done before in our slightly shorter rebounds, just taking our attention to the areas that we've worked. Just seeing what, if any, residual sensation there might be, particularly in the legs, the back of the legs, the front of the legs, maybe down to the feet. Static sensations or moving sensations. Maybe there's a sensation moving from the feet right up the back to the upper body. Now just taking our attention back to our previous posture with our spinal extension. Taking our focus to the base of our spine. And on the next inhale, drawing that focus all the way up the spine to the top of the neck, right below the skull. As we exhale, taking that focus all the way back down the spine. Once more as we inhale, taking the focus up. And exhale, taking the focus down. Inhale up. And exhale down. Just following the natural breath. If it helps in the mind as you inhale, almost imagine drawing a line up the spine. As we inhale and down as we exhale. In our mind, just touching every part of that spine that we've twisted in so many ways over the last 90 minutes. Almost a mental scan. Scanning the spine that we've worked. Twisted and extended. Moving our attention, moving some energy even up and down the spine as we lie here. Inhaling and exhaling. Just making a note and enjoying the release that those twists brought to us. Just a couple of breaths here. Maybe a nice deep inhale. And exhale, letting that breath go. Maybe bending a knee, leaning to one side, rolling over to one side. Gently coming back up to a seated position. Maybe crossing the legs. Just allowing the gaze to remain at the mat or the floor for a moment or two. With a couple of breaths here. It's the final opportunity to absorb the work that we've done on the spine over the last 90 minutes. Gently raising the head, blinking open the eyes. Namaste. I do hope you enjoyed working the spine as much as I did, just wringing out any of the stresses or challenges that may have existed before the practice. Please do feedback. We always enjoy getting the feedback. It's good to know that there are people out there enjoying the practices. It's good to know that you enjoy what we do prepare, but equally it's good to know if there's things that you would like us to focus more on. So if you are watching these videos and enjoying them, please do subscribe and start talking to us. Namaste.